started making changes to improve your health, maybe you've tried my meal plan or my daily habits that improve insulin sensitivity, and you're wondering if it's paying off, is your insulin resistance actually reversing? The good news is you don't need a blood test to know. There are signs you can watch out for. And although weight loss is a sign, you can still be making progress without the scale going down just yet. So today I'm sharing 6 clear signs that your insulin resistance is reversing without you having to step into a lab. But if you do want to see your progress through blood work, make sure to stick around until the end. I'm going to talk about what to look out for and what to look out for on blood work that you probably already have. The first sign is that fat loss is easier. And specifically, you're losing fat around your midsection. Now, as I said before, even if you aren't seeing a decrease on the scale, your insulin resistance can still be reversing. That weight loss could come later. So if you haven't seen the scale start to move just yet, use the timestamps on the progress bar to skip ahead to sign number 2. The reason that weight loss, and abdominal weight loss specifically, is a sign of insulin resistance reversing is because insulin resistance causes your body to store fat, and particularly in your abdominal area. Insulin is known as the fat storage hormone, and when your insulin levels are high, as is the case if you're insulin resistant, the body is storing fat and not burning it. The fat stored in our abdomen is different than the fat we store elsewhere in our body. It's called visceral fat, and it's especially harmful because it wraps around your organs and fuels inflammation. Now, as your body starts to become more insulin sensitive, it shifts gears. It starts burning fat for energy instead of holding on to it. When insulin levels drop, your body becomes more efficient at burning body fat. So if you've started to lose weight, whereas previously it was a bit more difficult, this is a sign you're moving in the right direction. And even if the scale hasn't moved, but you're finding that your waistline is a little bit slimmer, this is a sign as well. Sign number 2 is that your menstrual cycle becomes more regular. And this one, of course, only applies to women of childbearing age. So if you're outside of that category, skip over to sign number 3. For women, insulin resistance often goes hand in hand with hormonal imbalances, especially conditions like PCOS. High insulin levels can overstimulate the ovaries, leading to irregular periods, heavy bleeding, or missed cycles altogether. As your insulin sensitivity starts to improve, your hormones begin to balance out. You might notice that your cycle becomes more predictable and more regular. And for some women, this also means less cramping, fewer PMS symptoms, and lighter, more manageable periods. All of these changes are a sign that your body is healing. Sign number 3 is clearer skin and fewer skin tags. And also a reduction in skin tags you already have. Your skin can tell you a lot about what's happening inside your body. With insulin resistance, you might notice dark patches of skin, often on the neck, in your armpits, or around your groin. People with insulin resistance also develop skin tags in areas like your neck and armpits. These are common signs that your insulin levels are high. But as you become more insulin sensitive, these skin issues start to resolve. Those dark patches become lighter over time, and you might notice fewer skin tags, and the ones you do have reducing in size or shrinking altogether. Number 4 is reduced cravings and hunger. Cravings, especially for sugar and carbs, can feel overwhelming when you're insulin resistant. This is because insulin disrupts the hormones that regulate hunger, like leptin. When leptin signaling is off, your brain doesn't get the message that you're full, leading to overeating or constant snacking. Your body also isn't able to use the energy from the carbs you are eating efficiently because when it's being broken down, your cells are resisting it, which leads to cravings, especially for sugar, even after you've just eaten a decent meal. But as your insulin levels stabilize, these cravings will fade. You might find that you can go longer between meals without feeling ravenous, or that you're not as tempted by sugary treats. And this is a huge win because it makes sticking to healthy eating easier. So if you're feeling more satisfied after your meals, if you're not having as many cravings in between your meals, this is a really good sign that your insulin resistance is improving. Number 5 is more stable energy and more mental clarity. Energy crashes and brain fog are classic symptoms of insulin resistance. Again, your body isn't able to use the energy from your food efficiently. When your blood sugar is unstable, it can leave you feeling tired, irritable, or unable to focus. But as your insulin resistance improves, you'll notice more consistent energy levels throughout the day. You won't feel the need for that mid-afternoon nap or constantly crave coffee to stay awake. Along with this, you'll also find it's probably easier to focus and you'll have more mental clarity. Brain fog starts to lift and you'll be thinking more clearly. So if you're starting to feel like you're getting your energy back, if you're not having these frequent swings in your energy throughout the day, again, a really good sign that you're headed in the right direction. And finally, number 6 is that you have better sleep quality. Sleep is often overlooked when it comes to reversing insulin resistance, but proper sleep is absolutely key. The problem is that poor blood sugar control can disrupt your circadian rhythm, making it harder to fall asleep or stay asleep. It's a vicious cycle, because poor sleep can in turn worsen insulin resistance. But when your insulin sensitivity improves, you're not going to be having these blood sugar swings that can sometimes happen even during the night, that can cause you to wake up frequently. You might find it easier to get restful, uninterrupted sleep, and you're going to wake up feeling refreshed instead of groggy. Better sleep is not only a sign of progress, but also a key factor in continuing to improve your metabolic health. Now, while these 6 signs are great indicators, you might want to confirm your progress with a blood test. Here's what to look for. The first and most important factor is fasting insulin. Insulin resistance is essentially your body producing more and more insulin in order to keep your blood sugar in check. When you're insulin resistant, fasting insulin is higher because your body requires more insulin to do the same job. A normal range is below 10, but ideally you want to see this under 3. Now, as you see your insulin resistance begin to improve, you're going to see your fasting insulin drop. And just so you know, your fasting insulin can be elevated even if you have normal blood sugar. And this is because insulin resistance starts years before someone becomes pre-diabetic. Another key measure is your homa-ir score. This calculation uses your fasting glucose and fasting insulin to give you an overall picture of your insulin sensitivity. A score below 2 is ideal. And the great thing about homa-ir is that it combines 2 critical data points. So if you've been making the correct diet and lifestyle changes, you're going to see your homa-ir score trending downward, which is a good thing. But what if your doctor doesn't test fasting insulin, which is something that I hear from a lot of clients? Don't worry, you can still get valuable insights from your lipid panel, specifically your HDL to triglyceride ratio. This is because insulin resistance causes your triglycerides to go up and your HDL, otherwise known as good cholesterol, to go down. This happens because high insulin levels promote fat storage, not just in your body, but also in your bloodstream. Excess fat in your blood shows up as elevated triglycerides. At the same time, insulin resistance suppresses HDL production, which is responsible for clearing excess cholesterol and keeping your arteries healthy. So when triglycerides are high and your HDL is low, this is a sign that your metabolic health is struggling. But as your insulin resistance improves, you're going to see your triglycerides go down and your HDL go up. A good HDL to triglyceride ratio is typically below 2. The closer to 1 you can get, the better. And let me tell you, your cholesterol numbers improve quickly when you start to make the right changes and your insulin resistance starts to reverse. Now, if you're in the US and you're looking for a simple way to track these biomarkers at home, then SoWell Health has you covered. Their weight biology kit is an absolute game changer. It's the only at-home test that lets you measure fasting insulin, homa-ir, HDL to triglyceride ratio, and other key biomarkers, all from the comfort of your own home. This kit is perfect for anyone who is serious about reversing insulin resistance and improving their health. It's easy to use and you get your results quickly, within days. If you want to check them out, you can head to healthcoachkate.com/getsowell. I'll put that link in the description box down below as well. And you can use code KATE10 to save 10% off your first order. So to recap, the 6 clear signs that your insulin resistance is reversing are easier fat loss, especially around your belly, a more regular menstrual cycle for women, clearer skin and fewer skin tags, reduced cravings and hunger, stable energy and improved mental clarity, and better sleep quality. If you're noticing these changes, you're on the right track. And I'm really curious to hear from you guys. How many of these signs have you noticed? Let me know in the comment section down below. And remember that if you want to confirm your progress with lab tests, SoWell Health has you covered. It's the easiest way to test at home. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.